Dear listeners, there is no easy way to say this, so I've written it beforehand to read it out. I hope I get the words right. Starlight, a guild that will be mentioned a couple of times in this episode, have endured another terrible loss, that of their beloved guild leader, Nomine. He meant so much to his guild and friends, some of whom had the pleasure not to only be his online friend, but his real-life one too. His loss was a shock to us all, and he will be greatly missed. We extend our heartfelt condolences to all of those who knew him and send Starlight our thoughts, love and prayers. I got a message from Starlight to please ask all of you not to randomly whisper them to pay your respects, as they might be busy letting off some steam with content. Instead, please check if they are in Elwyn's forest by Ibelin stone first. Being there is a kind of signal that morning is in focus. If you are going through a tough time yourself, know that you are not alone. Confide in your friends or anyone else you trust. They will be there for you. Thank you for listening.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, everyone. Hello. Welcome to the... Oh, yeah. Welcome back, of course, to the 7th episode of the Argent Airways podcast. Joining me today is Ella, who's recently back from an illness. Hello. Say hello, Ella.
Yes, I'm back again. Finally, I missed the last episode, but I'm here again as the youngest and newest role player in this call.
We have Zuyagu.
Hello, Zuyagu, family Iron Wolves. He's a green troll and a proud father.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
we
man.
have Vivian.
Hello, everybody. Granny Viv here, or Vivian Skybreaker, the semi-mute Forsaken in RP. Vivian can't eat, she can't drink, but she likes to pretend. So if you see her, offer her an empty mug for me, will ya?
And I am Red Cleaver, otherwise known as the chieftain of the Iron Wolf clan. And joining us today, we have two special guests. We have Reich. Right? I hope I'm saying that right. Reich. Riker. Sorry, Riker. We have Riker.
Hello, it's Riker Hannistone here, human rogue from the Starlight community. I'm not part of Starlight, but I have been.
And we also have Mikkel.
Hello, I'm Mikkel, son to Riker. My character is Nick Mick. He is a human hunter on Argent Dawn, who's also son to Riker's character.
Very nice too.
Well, welcome you two.
Welcome both of you. Yes.
Welcome in.
Thank you. I did not know Riker had a son.
I might have misunderstood some things then, because I was sure you told me that what we agreed on. I'm sorry.
Awkward.
Yeah, but still son in real life.
Yes. That is true.
That is true. Yes.
Well, welcome to this episode 7, Lucky 7. I think it was one of us. Was it Ella who suggested that we ask someone from either Starlight or from the documentary? Ella, was it you? Do you remember?
I had the idea that we could try get someone, and then you went off and actually did it.
Yeah. Then I remembered that you, Riker, had organized the Ibelin run, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna give it a try.
And I'm happy you did, because I think it's an important subject.
Yeah, because we know you guys from RP, of course, but also from the documentary on Netflix, The Remarkable Life of Ibelin.
Yeah.
You were both part of. The Remarkable Life of Ibelin had several storylines going on. I remember you telling me as well that there was the storyline of Ibelin himself. There was your storyline with you and Mikkel. And there was Lisette's storyline.
Yeah, three major storylines, all combined, but with Ibelin's or Matt's in focus.
Yeah. Now, how did these Netflix people find you two, and how did they convince you both to go on with this?
It was actually not Netflix, because in the beginning it was Benjamin Ree, the one who created the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And Netflix didn't come in over the documentary until it had won something in Sundance Film Festival. And then Netflix bought the, properties of the documentary.
How long had the documentary already been out before Netflix caught on?
We started the taping of it in either 19 or 2020. So 3 or 4 years. It was in Sundance Film Festival in either early 24 or late 23, and it was when it came to the Sundance Film Festival, Netflix bought the rights to it.
That seems
Okay.
That's quite a step, going from a film festival right to a well-known TV platform like Netflix. I mean, and quite rightly so, of course, because it's an important topic for anyone who's ever been involved in RP, and even in himself, of course, has had quite an impact on everyone that he's met, and he's quite an important figure.
Yeah, just the subjects around that themselves are very important to bring attention to.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. Yeah,
made a lot of people aware of things, myself included, that they weren't aware of before.
Yeah, and especially I still believe that it should be on the curriculum for the social workers and everyone who's in contact with young people, and
absolutely,
special education and so on, because it's an outlet. Any gaming is an outlet for most people today.
Mm-hmm. Yes, indeed. Usually, well, not usually. I just know that a lot of people that I know that RP use it as a way out for the struggles of real life. They just need a break, and they just need to be able to relax a bit and, strangely enough, be themselves by putting on a mask of sorts, their RP character.
Yeah,
I was gonna compare it to, like, roleplay can sometimes seem like virtual reality, where it's a whole another place that you can go be you or be another character.
Mm-hmm.
It's escapism, like I said. Yeah, it's a chance of escaping your real life troubles and just being something else for a change. You know, going off onto some far flung area of the map and having your adventures free of any real life issues, which is really nice. Speaking from my own experience, especially as I'm sure Viv would agree as well, it's nice for people who have all kinds of mental health issues like autism, social anxiety, and of course the more serious ends of the spectrum as well. It's a nice way of escaping it all.
Yeah, that it's been a big help for me as well over the years for those sorts of things.
Absolutely, yeah. The funny thing is,
I can say the same with Mikkel. When he was getting into the concept, in our bits in Netflix, it's about Mikkel learning how to the physical means of a hug, and it's Mikkel. I don't know if you remember when you came and said the thing about we should type it out in the game instead of just doing it because you didn't like the touches.
Yeah, I still remember the mental troubles it took to get the courage to tell you that.
Yeah. And
Mikkel, I have a question for you as well about this. This was a very personal story for you, the story in which you finally learned how to hug, basically, and everything that came with it, because it's more than just a hug.
Yeah.
How did these documentary people convince you to be a part of this?
It was pretty easy. I was asked if I wanted to be in a documentary about Ibelin. And then I just said yes. Wasn't really much convincing. I was up for it from the start.
You just felt right away that this was the right thing.
Is that because of the impact what he had on both your lives that really gave you that nudge to want to take part in that sort of thing?
Yeah, he meant a lot to both me and my mom, so I thought it would be nice to honor him in that way, to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure he'd be very happy about the fact that you were a part of it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would be.
I told Mikkel about it before and had prepped him a bit, but as I told Benjamin, because Mikkel and I had been talking about we didn't want to take part in a Disney movie, so I told Benjamin that if he was going to turn it into a Disney movie with all sobbing and hooks and everything about a Disney movie, then we wouldn't take part in it. And he said that we could be a part of it, and right up until the end cutting scene, we could say we do not want to be in. But he really wanted to talk to us because he had heard our story, and he wanted to include that because, as he said, it would be a big impact in the movie as well, to show how mother and son deal with the world today through gaming.
I think your story in the documentary was key for how it went. I've seen it twice now, and it was because of your conversations with Ibelin that the documentary was able to draw the conclusion it did, I think. Because you were the ones reminding him that Ibelin had indeed left an impact on people, even though he did not believe it himself.
Yeah, he was humble in that way. He didn't see the same as the other of us saw. We saw that he talked to everyone. He came by and he took his time to talk with them, but he didn't see that as making an impact. But yeah, he really has made a big impact on a lot of people.
It's the small gestures like that that have the most impact, I'd say.
Yeah.
From a POV point, sometimes it can just seem like simple roleplay, especially in WoW, whilst it could be making a big impact on the other person's side.
Yeah.
It really can, yeah.
Are you happy with the way the documentary turned out in the end?
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. When we were in Norway to see it for the first time in the theater, one of the people who were taking us around and organizing that me and my mom we could get down to see it, she told me that a lot of autistic children had really been both moved and felt that it could help them. And when I heard how many it had helped, when I got back to the hotel, I was so happy that I began to cry.
No.
Because it moved me so much to know that I could help so many people by being in a documentary.
It doesn't seem like you went in there, I assume, to just speak on your behalf or Ibelin and just wanting to honour him in that way, but I suppose maybe you didn't expect the impact of that, of what you did to affect people in such a positive way.
I for sure did not expect that all the positive feedback we have gotten and I have gotten a lot of emails from people around the world, from parents to autistic children, who has said we have never thought about sitting down with our kids and asking them what they are gaming and teach the parents to game. And I had a dad who wrote me and said that he had never thought about sitting down with his son because the dad, he liked to play GTA, and he never thought about sitting down with his son and play with the son gaming. And then he wrote and said that after seeing the Netflix documentary, he took his time to sit down with his son and take a few hours that day. He was meant to take a few hours that day to game with his son. He ended up playing all day at the computer because his son, he dragged him into Fortnite after. So he just wanted to say thank you for that. So yeah, I'm still amazed how big of an impact we have done on people around the world with this.
It's really special.
Yeah, it certainly is. Knowing that Ibelin was obviously a much loved character and he had a lot of friends, and I'm sure, as I said before, you'll be very touched by the fact that he's had such an impact on people. Did he ever know that he had such an impact on people?
I have told him a lot of times that he really did an impact, and I have had that talk as I had in the documentary, as we are seeing. The same talk I had with him at least twice a week, because he kept on saying, but I just want to matter to people. I just want to make their lives better. I just want to be that good friend. And I was confirming over and over and over for him that he is that good friend. He is mattering to people. He is really doing a good deed.
Absolutely.
And he just couldn't see it himself.
Can you see yourself, and you as well, Michael, that you two are doing the same thing right now? You two are also making a big difference on the community. People that watch the documentary listen to your words, and they also think, maybe I should try gaming with my child and see what happens, see if we can get a better relationship as well.
I didn't think of it like that. I just hope that someone can learn from it and then hopefully gain a better relationship with their kids. That's what I hope from my end.
Yeah, about the same here. Mostly hoping that it will at least help someone.
From after watching the documentary, when hearing Vivian had managed to get a hold of you two and you two might be coming on a podcast, the excitement that went over a few of us in here.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that.
Same here.
It was like inviting a couple of celebrities onto a podcast, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we are not celebrities. No.
I don't feel like one. I don't think I could handle the stress of being one, to be honest.
Understandable.
Now, back in those days, you were both part of Starlight, and
no, not Mikkel.
Not Mikkel. You were.
Starlight had the age restriction of 18 years, and Mikkel, he wasn't at that age back then, so he wasn't allowed in.
I saw in the documentary that after Ibelin had passed, Starlight came together to honor his memory.
Yeah.
Do they still do that every year? Do you know?
I know they do, yeah. And it's something they keep within the community because it's, I don't know, is it called sacred? It's something we do for Starlighters and the community. And then last year, in November, Mikkel and I was talking, and Mikkel, he suggested that we did the run for him instead, because that's something everyone can take part in. And then where if we are not able to do it next year, then someone else might be able to do it and take up that torch and run for him instead.
Is the run something that's going to return every year? Because it was a great success. It was a great idea of yours, Mikkel.
I hope it will. If I'm playing this next year, then, or this year, November, if I'm playing in November, then it will be.
You chose 18th of November. Was there a reason why you picked that date?
Yeah, it was the day he passed away.
Oh,
The very day he passed away.
The very day he passed away, yes. And it was the 10th year this year. So it was something special to us.
That's a very poignant and very meaningful gesture then.
Yeah, and it was, Mikkel and I was talking about, it was the amount of years that had passed. It would be appropriate to open it up for others to take part in as well. And now this tombstone has come down for him as well, and so on. So we could do the run without offending anyone. At least we hope. We hope. No one felt offended about it. I got a few whispers from some who was hosting a roleplay event in Duskwood, and I want to extend my apologies for running through your event. I did not know there was an event going on in Duskwood that day.
Well,
I think
guess
it can
we
be
know.
excused.
Now we know that the 18th of November is Ibelin Run Day. So
Yeah.
if you're planning to host an event on the 18th of November, be warned, you might have a large crowd running through it.
Especially in either the outer part of Westfall, in the middle of Duskwood, and some parts of Redrick and Elvin.
Were those particular zones his favourite place to be then? Westfall, Duskwood, and beyond?
Whenever he logged in, the first thing he did before he was doing any roleplay, he did his half-hour run, and it was the route we ran that day. It was the same route.
Wow.
A lot of people showed up. I have never seen such a well-visited event on the server. And it's been around for a while.
Yeah, I think someone sets a number between 300 and 500 people and crashing the server.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of people.
That's a lot of people, yeah.
My PC could almost not follow, so I was lagging quite a lot.
And Mikkel and me, we were saying, well, if it's just, we'll be happy if 20 people shows up. That would be the old gang that we used to hang out with. Then we would be happy. 500 people.
Wow.
A lot of happiness.
A small army. Yeah.
That's such a big impact. I'm really it's quite a shame that I didn't attend that run. I was so unaware of it at the time and everything that was it involved that I hadn't gone to that because I didn't know what that was really about. I didn't have the knowledge, but now that I do,
didn't have Netflix.
Yeah, I hadn't seen it or anything.
Don't be ashamed. Please don't be ashamed. Honestly, not everyone should know everything, so don't be ashamed.
Oh, yeah, well, I appreciate that, but I think now that I know all of that, if it happens again, I'll definitely make sure that November the 18th, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely make sure that I can do that run with everyone.
Make sure you visit the stone sometime.
Yeah, that's how I first heard about it. I was just questing in Elwyn and I came across it, and then I did a little look up, and that's how I came to know about it briefly.
And if you see any starlighters there, like I said in the intro, then see it as an invitation to have a talk with them and to wish them the best.
Just for the audience, if I may ask, whereabouts is this stone, just so people can visit if they wanted to?
It's in the first little island behind the inn in the Elvin Stone Cairn Lake, I think it's called.
Lion's Pride Inn, just behind there.
Oh,
Yeah.
I see. That the island with the Murlocs surrounding it.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the gravestone or tombstone looked like his real life gravestone.
If that doesn't show that he's had an impact, I don't know, to actually be included in the game and have a tombstone.
Yeah, and he is getting an NPC. I think it has
wow.
been announced as well.
Oh, wow.
Wow. If that's not proof, I don't know what.
Yeah, it's a bit wild, I think.
It is very
It's so
wild, yeah.
significant. The in-game memorial is the gravestone as well as an NPC.
Yeah, it is. It's and I am a bit ambivalent about it because to me, when I did the run, Ibelin's character logged in during the night, and I was taken aback by that, and I was sure that it had been hacked or something, but it turned out it wasn't. It was something they were trying out from Blizzard sides. But I still feel weirded out that he will get his NPC in the game, because for me, Ibelin is dead. In character, Ibelin is dead. And now Raike is going to run into him as an NPC in Stormwind. That is going to be really weird and really hard to explain to an in-character Raike, because in-character Raike knows Ibelin is dead.
Should you, as in-character characters, acknowledge NPCs then?
I don't know, and because she does to some, and she chooses not to with others. But what if someone is going to come up to her and say, "Well, I just saw Ibelin," and when they do that now, Raike, she is just going to say, "Well, you are either on the dream dust or you have fallen into the dwarven keg.
Mm-hmm.
Please just shut up and go bury yourself with your white Heidi in the air."
White Heidi in the air. There's an image.
Yeah, so the goblins can use that for parking their trikes.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. I think if something's known to not be there, it should be taken out of character, not necessarily always in character.
Yeah,
it's usually the unwritten rule that NPCs in general are, not acknowledged. I suppose it's a term. If you're role playing anyway.
With a handful of exceptions.
That depends on who you are, because I have seen a lot of people who acknowledge NPCs as well. So it's a hard take. Raike, she acknowledged some. For instance, the Argent Dawn people, or the Argent Crusaders, she acknowledged, but the others she doesn't.
I've seen in taverns that many people, when there are no bar staff available, actually talk to Joachim and the other NPCs to order a drink.
Notable NPCs.
Gravy gets that on the horde as well.
That's about as far as I'm willing to go.
Oh yeah, Gravy from the Wyvern's Tale. Yeah, the famous troll.
He always gets that on the horde. Everyone always talks to him.
Funny, isn't it? Because people would acknowledge barkeepers and important lore characters like who's the Rokan?
Rokan.
Rokan, thank you. Other important characters like that. Speaking of NPCs, however, this will be a nice little, if I may move on to our RP discussions.
Yeah, I was a bit curious about how our guests are doing now.
Oh yes, of course. Of course. Sorry about that.
Happy to move on to the topic if everyone's ready.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine.
Yes?
Yeah, sure.
Apologies for that.
Right.
So perfect time, I guess, since we were talking about the past and all that. The topic chosen was how roleplay has changed through expansions. So this would be good for you guys who are older role players. I'm basically going to be the newbie here, and you can teach me everything.
Veterans.
Yeah.
Oh.
How has like roleplay changed from backing like classic roleplay going through to Burning Crusade? How was that transition to Wrath of the Lich King? How was roleplay during those times compared to it now?
Riker, do you want to go first?
Expansions. Yeah.
I can. Well, for me, I started out with running around as a total noob back in 2006. Really, I encountered I was playing on Steamwill Cartel at that time.
So was I.
And I ran into a little gnome, and he was challenging my character to a duel, and I had broken my arm behind the screen, and I was like, but I can't duel you. I have a broken arm. And I didn't know the difference between in character and out of character because I was totally noob. And then my sister came by and she was really strict and teaching me everything from A to Z. And I got a crash course within 2 days. And the third day, I thought I knew everything. And back then, people were role playing in Elvin. It was actually role playing, not the things you find in the inn down there now. And then it's slowly, with the next expansion, it moved to, on Steamville, it moved to, we had a lot going on in
Rathrath?
Yeah. And in Nagrand, Starlight were having a lot of happenings there as well. And we were traveling around with Starlight back then and did a lot of role-playing everywhere, I think. And personally, I preferred anything with a green forest, then I was happy. And now Raikis prefers her little wooden cave somewhere hidden. No one can find her.
A naturist, then.
And sorry?
A naturist. In other words, she's living in the woods.
Yeah, or chosen hermit. I think it's the best word to describe her.
Fair enough.
A naturalist, not a naturist. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was about to say naturist means a little something else.
Yeah, but
Well, you don't know, do you really? Because behind the bush, no one sees her.
Well, if that's what she's into, who am I to judge?
Yeah, right.
Alliance people, what can I say? Ugh. Anyway,
So
yeah, hello.
So it had that transition between like classic and Burning Crusade. That was like something like expansions nowadays, taken in character with events to it, or was it just happened?
Then and still is to me for as it is. It's something. When an expansion happens, something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Because Raikis still haven't in character been to where the Draenei's are from. Draenor. She haven't been there in character, so she knows they exist and she knows it's a pretty place, but in character she haven't been there.
It's a little bit tricky these days because of timelines.
It can be quite convoluted, yeah.
Yes.
Speaking from my own experience, but when I started RPing back in vanilla, I believe I mentioned this before when my character Red Cleaver, who was known as Skull Splitter back then, and was hunting in the Northern Barrens. At the time I was questing, I was collecting the infamous Zebra hooves.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I could tell you're a classic player, but by that reaction alone.
Yes.
Yeah. And yeah, I was taking forever to do it, and suddenly I saw these orcs just off in the distance. I was like, "Oh, what are they doing?" And I thought they were talking to each other first off, and I walked over to them and I said, "Hi guys, wait, what are you up to? Can I have some help over here, please, quick?" And he said, and this guy whispered me saying, "Sorry, we're role playing at the moment." And I was like, "Oh, what's that?" And then just went on from there, really.
It starts.
So it begins. Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
begins.
And
Yeah.
we're never the same again.
No, never the same again. No.
Moving
Thinking
forward.
back of roleplay history, we've had quite a few years with quite a few clans back in the day, and fewer and fewer clans remain. The Iron Wolf clan is still holding strong, but
Yeah, we are. I can name
the Frozen Paw clan is gone.
I can name several fairly big clans. Orcs of the Red Blade, who are unfortunately no longer around.
Banner of the Winter Sun.
That's the one as well. Some more older as well. The Iron Tusk, and there were also a group called the Blackjaw, who I was involved with for a while. Unfortunately,
Also a clan. It's also a clan, right?
I think they're a war band, but of course I can be wrecked on that. If
I
anyone
believe
knows
that's led
about
by
that.
Tauren.
Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
I have some of those names are very familiar for me as well from probably Cataclysm, Mist of Pandaria time and onwards.
Yeah. It was around that time.
On Horde side there were a lot of clans, and on Alliance side there were a lot of houses.
Game of Thrones. It's the name for that one.
Those houses. And all the nobles and all the whatever they were.
And all the criminal guilds. I mean, it's so blatantly obvious that they were criminals. Yeah, I remember that. Oh, fun times.
That's dull for RP nowadays.
Riker has a past in the crime. That was actually the very first time she saw Starlight. It was she was planning to rob and mug and beat up Ibelin because he was a filthy noble. She hated and she still hates noble people.
Yeah, can't blame him. In terms of how roleplay has evolved over the years, however, obviously back in Classic you had the I can only speak on Horde side because I've only RP'd on Horde side back then. It was during a time when the Horde had just recently settled in Durotar, so I suppose you could say the setting was far more simple as it is now, because you don't have to worry about timelines and like knows what. It was still quite nice to RP in due to the fact that it was just simplistic. I suppose as time went on, like when Burning Crusade came out, which is the time I changed Skull Splitter to Red Cleaver, by the way. That's where I got the name from. I'm not sure how to describe that. Sorry. No, that's right.
I hear a lot of people saying that now versus then. Now you have a hard time finding random roleplay. You either have to be in a community or you have to be in a guild. And I have to say, those who say that are not willing to look, because I have my own guild on Riker, and I am the only one who's in the guild along with Mikkel. And I have no problem finding random roleplay around wherever I come. So it's a matter of your own mindset to roleplay wherever you go. And
we were playing. Sorry. We were playing Dungeons the other day, and we came across our tank. He was role-playing in the dungeon.
Oh, yeah, we've been there.
So,
one of them.
Yeah, one of them. He was actually quite good. Mikkel, he let him die because he was dead anyway. So, but yeah, you know how it goes.
It is. It is interesting with each expansion, as Riker has said. A major lore event happens, and that of course affects the RP scene. Like with Wrath of the Lich King, everyone was talking about Northrend and the Scourge and how it affected everyone, and that certainly put an interesting twist on roleplay, if I recall, because everyone was all paranoid about the plague of light, rather.
Yeah.
So that's something I've always been curious, and I'm sad I've missed, is if your character, let's say you're an Alliance character or something, and you're a human from Lordron, and Wrath of the Lich King comes out, what does your character go through?
Yes.
A whole lot of shit.
Quite literally.
But yeah,
Probably some customization options. Yeah.
well, Reike, she started out living in South Shore, and when the plague hit up there, she had to flee down south. So she spent about 2 years in Ironforge before she moved on, traveling between Stormwind and Ironforge. It's good thing with the tram at night.
Yeah, and then of course after Wrath, what was it? What was
Cataclysm
it
afterwards.
Cataclysm? Yes, thank you.
That's when I started getting into roleplay.
Yeah, and as we know, the world split apart even more, which definitely caused a change in our RP because all of a sudden these new settlements were appearing at seemingly out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
New enemies, of course, as well, which everyone
And
was
I
fighting against.
remember every time a new race was introduced, like when the Pandaren came, they were everywhere. When the Draenei came, they were everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Though I've seen so many Worgens and Death Knights and Volpera that just appeared out of nowhere, were everywhere, and then suddenly just disappeared again.
It is hilarious.
Remain.
Yeah, they remain, of course. Yeah, it is quite hilarious because I remember when Burning Crusade came out, and we used to joke that Stormwind is being invaded by the Smurfs because Rana being blue, you know.
I remember when the Vulperians came out, Reike put a bounty on, and she said, "I want a new cat." Sure, they were cats because some clever horde person must have really tamed those cats really good. So she went to Booty Bay because Booty Bay, every shady business goes on down there.
Mm-hmm.
So she started to see if there was someone selling one, and then there was this little Vulperian person running around, and she was chasing after it. I had the one that allows you to talk with the other fraction. That's
the tongues potions, you mean?
Elixir of tongues.
Yeah.
And she was running after the cat person, saying, "Come here, little kitty, come here. I have a new home for you." And the person turned around, saying, "Well, little lady, I am not going home with you. You can't afford me." And I was like, oh my God, it speaks. Those horde persons, they really have got it down to the T with the training their domesticated pets. Until someone came around telling Reike, you do know that those are actually humanoids. They are living persons. And Reike, she said, no, look at them. They look like cats. They can't be humanoids. They're cats. And then Morgan came walking by, and the Morgan said, well, look at me. I'm a dog, and that's a cat. I'm a person. That's a person. Shut up.
That reminded me. In Orgrimmar once, we had a similar situation. Someone was RPing a Larkin Skull orc, and of course, Larkin Skulls are a bit unhinged, to say the very least.
Yeah.
This Larkin Skull was talking to another orc, and he goes, "Look what I found! Look what I found!" and was holding up this Volpera by the ankle. shaking it around. He goes, "Look, talking fox! Look!" And the poor Volpera was like, "Put me down! I am not a fox. I'm a Volpera. I have rights." Oh, it was hilarious to watch.
No, I'm curious then about the faction split. Like, how did? So obviously nowadays there's a lot of cross-faction events and a lot of both factions get along pretty well now. But back then, how was if a alliance role player came across a horde role player, what happened? How did that play out back then?
You used that, but when you couldn't use that, you had On SteamWhittle, we used a translator. We had someone we could go to and be the one translating. So you actually hired a translator between the
I remember those.
Horde and the Alliance, and then they were on Discord. Or no, we didn't use Discord back then. It was Skype or whatever.
I didn't
And
know we had those back on SteamWhittle.
We had. It was there was a particular guild. I can't remember who they were called. It was Rickeron who was running it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, of course, back then.
At one point, CrossRP came out, and CrossRP was able to connect raid groups. So we were able to, around BFA times, connect Horde and Alliance groups in a chat, but you could only type in raid chat. And you only had room for an X amount of people as well, so it was all very tricky and difficult. The Elixir of Tongues really helped.
And of course,
when that came out, everything changed.
Absolutely. And of course, not forgetting, back then, we had add-ons like MRP. We didn't have TRP, which has the map scanner for RPers. Of course, MRP didn't have that. I remember, actually, when I first installed MRP and seeing characters with surnames, it absolutely blew my mind.
I was much the same when I installed that the first time. It opened my eyes to so many more things, because before I didn't have any add-ons. It was just regular name, and then it was that, and just boom.
I have that fresh in my mind because we did that with Mikkel's boyfriend the other day. He got the TRP. I use the XRP because that's simple. I need simple things. And he got the TRP, and he was like a kid in the candy store. Oh my God, it's a whole new world, this.
Oh, bless.
Yeah, I was like that when I discovered Listener a few years ago. I was like,
yeah.
How did I RP for so long without it?
Oh, don't, Listener.
And then I ask, what is Listener?
What is it indeed?
Ooh. Listener is a nice little add-on that, well, let me put it this way. Do you ever get lost in chat spam? When there are so many people talking and talking to you as well, but you just miss it?
All time, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Listener, whenever you click on somebody, you see a little snooper window, and you can see exactly what they said, when they said it, how long ago they said it. And if you personally are mentioned, you get a little beep, and you see your own name in green on the screen.
Yeah, like a targeted chat frame.
Oh.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Does it work with the VIM?
What's VIM?
It's like a messenger pop-up in the game. It's an individual window popping out whenever someone writes to you. You can have it either for the chat or the whispers or both.
I am not entirely sure, but Listener seems to be pretty compatible with most add-ons. So I'll say yes, maybe it'll work.
Probably.
Yeah. Hashtag not sponsored, by the way. But,
it'll probably say if it is or isn't incompatible.
Yeah, I'm sure it will. But as Vivian said, Listener was an absolute game changer for. I believe you can have a main window and you can have like a snooper window.
Yes.
The main one is and either windows you can set the filters for any chat channel, like say guild event announcement. Sorry, not event. Raid announcement, raid chat. You can completely separate it and just filter out what that person is saying rather than have everyone's messages.
Yeah,
it is incredibly helpful.
I think I will have to look that up because sometimes it gets hectic, especially at the big events.
Oh yes, I understand that completely.
I believe on our add-on episode we went into detail some more with Listener and some other add-ons as well.
Yeah, it's very useful, especially like in events and stuff. If you're chatting to someone and then you miss like an announcement, you can click on the person who announced it and you'll see it in the little snooper window. So even if you miss something, you can go back and look at it if you could target the person.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can scroll back through them.
If I can connect this to the topic for a moment, we were talking about the evolution of roleplay.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I think the add-ons like this one has also changed it a lot and
Absolutely,
made it so
yeah.
much easier.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's
it has.
it-
It really has.
It's definitely made it a lot more accessible as well, because you did have to actually
Yes.
look quite a lot in classic. People tended to favour the major hubs like the cities and the towns within reach of those cities to RP in, rather than go off into some far-flung area of the game as well. So it definitely has made it more accessible, because with TRP in particular, you can find people by simply clicking a button, which definitely does
Yeah.
help.
I guess you could say I came into roleplay in a time of luxury.
Yeah, you could
Yeah.
do. You kids don't know how well you've got
back in
it.
my day jokes we can do.
Oh, that I get this all the
You
time.
sweet summer elf, you don't know what it was like without listener.
Yeah, you youngsters don't know how good you've got it nowadays. You don't have to even
Young
hunt for
kids
separate
have-
hoops.
I do.
Oh,
I played back then.
oh my god, that quest! It took me. I'm not kidding here. It took me 2 hours to get 8 of those blasted hooves. It was
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Cataclysm, Mr. Pandaria time is when I was mostly between Stormwind and Goldshire, when it wasn't what it's known for now.
Yes, quite. I remember the RP atmosphere when Pandaria and is it Battle for Azeroth? The one that came after Boranus and
Drain.
Zandalar.
Was the Draenor was after Mr. Pandaria.
Draenor, yeah.
In terms of expansions, yes, but I meant in terms of RP, it was definitely, I believe it was Battle for Azeroth when the atmosphere changed, because Sylvanas had just taken over, and everyone was on high alert, especially around the Horde side, because we were essentially split between supporting Sylvanas and her Forsaken, not Vivian, of course, because Vivian's too nice for that. And Sarfang, who was the true heart of the Horde, or as some
That was
people.
Battle for Azeroth.
Battle for Azeroth, thank you.
Vivian got a lot of hate in those days because, well, she is a Forsaken, so everybody assumed that she was a Sylvanas follower. But she was one of the few Forsaken that just followed her guild leader around and would just go whatever decisions were made there. And the Frozen Park clan decided not to blindly follow all of Sylvanas' orders, which got us into a spot of trouble.
It definitely,
but it was a very interesting time to RP, I have to admit that.
Absolutely,
it was very dangerous. We Frozen Paws had to watch our backs the whole time, but it was also very exciting, like watching a good horror movie, but being in it.
It's like watching a good.
I am glad that it did end eventually, though, and we all became friends again, because that's more up Vivian's alley.
Yeah. As you said, though, Viv, it was like watching a zombie survival film, essentially speaking, wasn't it? Because
Yes.
we had the groups that were Horde aligned, shall we just say, in hidden all about the place, and then he had Sylvanas' lot trying to hunt them. It made some really interesting RP scenarios, I must say.
The whole premise of Battle for Azeroth was the faction war. There was Alliance versus Horde. But in RP, it wasn't just Alliance versus Horde. It was Alliance versus Horde versus Horde.
Added a new dynamic. That's the word I'm looking for. Dynamic.
I guess we could see something similar coming up in the next part of the expansion coming up is goblins with the Undermine.
Yes.
Maybe seeing some goblins on the Horde side actually siding with Galliwax instead of the Horde, which might be interesting to see in roleplay.
It's always interesting to see how characters react to what's going on around them. That's what makes RP so interesting. Speaking of RP, then, shall we move on to Vivian's calendar?
Yes.
Very well. I have to give you a small disclaimer for this calendar. As I created it, I had a terrible migraine, so I have no conscious memory of what I've written down. And also, instead of my usual personal comments, I ended up quoting everyone. So this is going to be an interesting one.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Is Vivian's calendar. We recorded this show on Wednesday the 22nd, so the calendar will be from Thursday the 23rd till Thursday the 30th of January. My sources are argentarchives.org, the ADEU RP server, link in the description, and Ella Fraser has snooped around the forums for me. New things might be added during the week. So if you're looking for something to do, it's a good idea not to just rely on this calendar, but also to check the sources as you log in. Here is what we could find in them so far. Thursday the 23rd, there is a sermon in Tirisfal Glades about the Forgotten Shadow. It starts at 8 p.m. realm time onwards, and in their own words, during this solemn hour, the tenets of the Forgotten Shadow will be illuminated, blessings bestowed, and the mysteries of the void explored. Only, I think, because it's in Tirisfal Glades, more information on the argentarchives.org page. In meantime, in the Telegraph's Rift on Thursday, there is a cozy little gathering of Void Elves, High Elves, and Blood Elves. It is the Telegraph's Gathering. This is not the first time they're having it there, so those of you who've already gone there before know what it's like, so have a look if you're an elf. We have a couple of bars for you. We have the Anteaters Inn this Thursday in the Wyvern's Tail Orgrimmar, 8 p.m. onwards. Realm time, of course. We have the Moonlit Bar in Boulder Springs. That is in the new zone. Blah, 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 blah. Was it Kazagar? Well, you know, the new zones.
Yes,
It is neutral. It is Kazagar, thank you. It is neutral, so bring your elixir of tongues. The Scarlet Raven Witch Hour will be up in Darkshire Duskwood. It starts quite late at 10 p.m., so this is for those of you who go to bed late, like me. It is Alliance only though, so I can't bring Viv. Meanwhile, Little Pandaria will be in the Broken Keel Tavern in Ratchet for a change. Usually they are in Stormwind, but this time they will be in Ratchet, 8 p.m. onwards. Now, normally the Doonchester would be open as well on Thursday, but I had a word with one of the Volpera running it the other day, and they told me it was going to be moved to 22nd. No, the 27th. Sorry, like I said, migraine. If that's correct and you can't find anyone there, then check back again on Monday. More on that later. We move on to Friday the 24th. There is the Horde Artisans meetup in the Hall of Respite, Silver Moon City, 8:30 p.m. onwards. In their own words, do you have materials to sell? Do you have a new project that requires materials, or do you seek clients to sell your produce? This fine evening we shall discuss such matters and ensure that all involved can walk away with increased profits ensured. Horde only, Hall of Respite, Silver Moon City, 8:30 p.m. We have a bar as well. The Groggery will be open in Pinky's Groggery Borealis, 8 p.m. onwards. Little Pandaria's back. This time they are in Stormwind in the Golden Keg, 8 p.m. onwards. TK Studios will be open this Friday. The clothing shop, Vic the music bot, will likely be there, on which you can request your favorite tunes. It is not unheard of to dance while you wait in the shop. There is a neat niche in the market regarding glasses and reading glasses. And as they are considered a fashion accessory, as well as a handy tool for, seeing, TK now provides those too. So get your eyes measured. On Saturday, the 25th, the Gilneas Black Market will be on in Pirewood Village. And because it's in Pirewood, that's the OOC location, by the way. Ideally, it will probably somewhere in some hidden nook in Gilneas. But because it's in Pirewood Village, it is neutral. Everyone is welcome there. And as the Gilneas denizens say, the Gilneas Black Market is a hidden and enigmatic gathering held every 3 months in the forgotten courtyards of Gilneas. Cloaked in secrecy, it is a haven for those seeking the unattainable, enchanted weapons, rare artifacts, forbidden knowledge, and discreet services from skilled necromancers, alchemists, and informants. Anything can be bought, sold, or traded for the right price. In The Shady Lady in Stormwind, the Broken Lady will be holding a shady celebration. The Shady Lady has been the Broken Lady for about a month now, and they wish to celebrate this with a party. There will be bards, brawls which you can bet on, drinking games, barbecue, and fireworks. Also, which is faster, goblins or gnomes? Bertha Wobblestring, Spring, and Rard Buskill invite you to the Half Hill Market this Saturday to find out in the second installment of the Gnomes vs. Goblins race, or Goblin vs. Gnome race. I guess you have to decide for yourself who gets to come first. Half Hill Market starts at 8 p.m. onwards. Be careful when entering the Blue Recluse this Saturday, because Alessandra, the Alacritus knife thrower, will be there to hurl blades at you. In good spirits, of course. Come and enjoy this spectacle at the Blue Recluse, hosted by the Dove, in Stormwind City at 8:30 onwards, Alliance only. Also, a club will open in Silvermoon this Saturday, namely the Thalassian Night Club. There will be music, games, laser beams, glow stick, and the dress code is simply party. Check them out in the Hall of Respite, Silvermoon City, from 8:30 onwards, Horde only. Moving on to Sunday. The Stormglen fishing competition will be on Stormglen Beach, Gilneas at 8 p.m. Realm Time, Alliance only. There will also be the Gathering at the Crossroads, which is every Sunday except the first one, because that's when the Orgrimmar Market is. It was quite comfortably crowded last Sunday. It was very cozy. Have a look if you're a Horde. It's in the Northern Barrens, in the Crossroads, at 8 p.m. Realm Time, Horde only. Monday, the 27th. On Monday the 27th, the Reliquary Institute has open office hours from 19:30 onwards, so that's 7:30 onwards. Location, Reliquary Office in the Royal Exchange, Silvermoon City. What is it they do exactly? Well, on their Argent Archives page, it says that they can aid with deciphering ancient texts and languages, authenticating and appraising relics, and investigating unexplained phenomena. Also on Monday the 27th, like mentioned before, the Doonchester Tavern will be open. You can find them in Freywold Village in the Isle of Dorn from 8 p.m. onwards. And now for something completely different. OOC Cafe, my event, will be back. Come and meet fellow RPers and let's geek out together over our favorite hobby, among other things, with a nice drink and a snack. You can find us in Legion Dalaran from 8:30 onwards. And remember, we will be OOC. Do not share anything about yourself that you don't feel comfortable with, and just come and have a light-hearted chat with your fellow nerds. Tuesday's Market Day. Tuesday the 28th is no different. You know the drill. The Duskwood Market will be up and running again. Bring a lantern and an empty bag and something to defend yourself with in case you run into anything scary. 8 p.m. onwards in Duskwood. And naturally, the Dalaran Market will be up again also in Dawn's Blossom Pandaria from 8 onwards, with a little extra treat for you. The No Lodge, Darius's bookshop, has organized a monthly lecture for us. Their guest this month will be Archmage Zyretha Snowdawn. Their lecture is called There is No Right Answer to the Arcana, and it'll start right at the beginning of the market at 8, so be on time if you want to catch it. On Wednesday the 29th, I couldn't find anything officially, but most of the time the Curious Octopus Beginner RP Bar will be open on that day. So check out the inn on Marinas Row Borealis from 8 onwards and see if they're in. That's as far as the calendar goes this week, but please keep an eye on argentarchives.org because we have all sorts of amazing events coming up, like the Lunar Fest next weekend. And I'm sure there will be pretty awesome things to do for lovers in the air as well. So keep an eye out on argentarchives.org and the ADRPEU server. And the forums, of course. And we'll see you next time.
And very well done as well, Vivian, as always.
Very nice.
It was a little messy, but I tried.
We don't mind
You
messy.
did good. You did good.
Very good, as always. And now, I believe it is time to go on to our shout-outs.
Yes.
Does anyone have a shout-out they want to include before I...
Oh, just a tiny one. I just want to say hi to Anivel. Thank you for sending me the nice whisper. And hello to all of our German fans.
Oh, yes. Hello, Germany.
And
Hello, Germany. Guten Tag, Deutschland.
Hello, Deutschland.
a little shout out as well to Emerald Red Fox before we started this episode was saying some nice things in the Discord.
Yes,
Oh,
thank
yes.
you.
Shout out, of course, to the people that have supported us thus far on our Discord server and listen to our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and etc. I also have been asked to give these people I mentioned. Recently, I have just been DM'd. Recently, I've been DM'd rather on Discord asking for a shout out for a new RP project that has recently been created. The the project is known as the Golden Ledger Trading Company, and these are people that I believe, if I can just pull up my notes here real quick. There we go. This is a server for your go-to support hub for both factions, a dynamic space in character for trading, networking, and storytelling. So they are absolutely worth checking out. The link to their Discord server will be in the YouTube description below.
Traders unite!
Raiders unite! Yeah, absolutely. And having spoken to the organizer of the Golden Ledger, I can tell you they are very nice people. Anyone else have a shout out that they would like to include?
I think we're good.
Are we good?
I think that was it.
Are we good? Okay, just want to be sure before I talk over someone.
I mean, I just want to shout out just the nice community we have here in Argent Dawn, really.
Absolutely.
And just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
Honestly, you make it what it is.
Shout out to our fellow nerds for being the inspiration behind this podcast to begin with. Yeah.
Yes, hello, fellow nerds. We love you.
We love you all. Yes. And now, as we have no more shout outs, do we, Riker, Mikkel, anyone who can come to mind?
I would always shout out to Starlight, of course, because
yes.
they're going through their hard times right now.
Absolutely.
And all my thoughts and prayers are to them and everyone else on the Argent Dawn and the old service we come from, Steamwheel and
Yes.
Moonglade,
I
I think
love
they call
that.
it as well.
Steamwheel.
Yeah, Steamwheel. SVC.
Yeah.
Mikkel, have you got anyone that you'd like to mention?
I think it will be the same as my mom with Starlight and the community and everything that my mom just said.
Fair enough. Okay. And now, on to RP funny moments now. And I've been looking forward to this bit in particular because I hear that that our guests have a funny story that they'd like to share with us. So take it away, Riker.
All right.
Yeah. Mikkel, he had started to school. And as I did, I was playing on Steamwheel as I used to. And
How old was he at the time?
2007, so he was 7.
7 years old, Mikkel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he had just started to school. And Mikkel, would you take it from there and I'll pitch in? Because I think you should say something too.
Yeah, I was asked what my parents were doing for a living, and I was saying that my father, he was fixing the light in the skies because he was a technician.
Electrician.
Yeah, that. And when it came to my mom, I said she kills people for gold.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh dear.
And I was asked what I mean by that, and I said, "Oh, she just kills people for gold," because I didn't know.
And 2 hours later, we had the police knocking on the door along with 2 social workers.
Oh
So
my God.
Police out there, people. If you play with your kids on the computer, don't tell your kids you're killing people. Just tell them you are gaming, because you do not want
Otherwise,
you do not want to go through that.
otherwise you'll end up with the real life equivalent of a guard guild knocking at your door.
Exactly, and that's horrible. It takes so
Except that-
long to get away from them.
that guard guild actually does something about it.
Ooh. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will spare you the horrible details, but it took 10, 11 years to get rid of them. So, yeah,
Wow.
Wow.
just because of what he said back then. It was because back then it wasn't normal that you, as a parent, sat down and played with your kids in that way.
Mhm.
And it wasn't normal that you, as a parent, were playing, apparently, because to me it was normal. I had grown up with a dad who had a computer. His first computer was a Commodore 64, I think it's
Oh, wow.
called, and then to Amiga and so on. And I took over his computers from when he ditched the Commodore 64, I took over. And when he ditched the Amiga, I took over, and so on. So, yeah,
Proper old school PC then.
exactly.
Oh my God. I can just imagine the look on people's faces when Mikkel said that. It's like, oh, really?
It's always funny to tell people that because they have the most surprised face all the time.
Yeah, I bet I was looking as surprised when I opened the door. But his teacher, she was a year before her retirement, so I can't blame her. But still, please, 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 just take it in, nice and slow. Ask the real questions.
What spec is Riker?
Person.
Yeah, that's actually what she is.
Oh, she uses poisons. She what?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Can you imagine you said that?
Oh my God, yes.
Wow. Wow.
So,
You know
yeah,
what a
that's
garrote is? No, my mom does.
Oh, wow.
that's a lesson for everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mind what you tell your kids. Yeah.
A lesson and a funny moment in one.
Exactly.
Mm.
And that's also why we why we took part in the documentary, so people would know that I don't do it in real life.
Uh, Speaking of funny moments, as most are aware by now, we try and get hold of either a Bug's words of wisdom or a funny quote that he posts whilst
Oh,
role playing.
I believe Ella had another
I was
funny
gonna say, I
moment
got
before you went
another
into
funny
that.
story.
Oh, apologies, Ella. Carry on. Sorry. Yeah, carry on.
Oh, I've got one too. A little.
Oh my God, sorry, but
Vivian will know
I've
this.
actually thought too far today, aren't I? Wow.
It's alright. I believe Vivian will know this one. It happened, so we've been on a campaign recently in roleplay into Northrend. And just recently, just before an event was starting, Vivian called me and a couple of other characters in the guild over to do just some fun activities before the event.
Mhm.
So she was like saying, sledding, we could go sledding. So she ran off up the hill, and all of us looked a little confused, followed her after her. And as we're walking up this snowy hill, down comes a Vivian on a sled, just slides right past all of us, just saying wee straight past. I was not
No.
expecting it at all.
Keep in mind that Vivian can't pronounce vowels, so instead of we, it was more like
Straight past, and I turned around and I just kept laughing at my desk. I couldn't roleplay for like 10 minutes because I was just laughing.
Oh, I can imagine. Because I remember this was during our recent campaign in Northrend, isn't it? when you guys were having a bit of downtime before the mission. I remember calling you guys back to camp, and suddenly I think it was one of our Volpera just shot past me on the sled, and I was not expecting it whatsoever, and it was absolutely hilarious because all you saw was what these two big ears flying down a snow hill.
Maybe a tail.
And a tail as well, yeah. Oh my god. Fun times.
Speaking of fun times, Vivian was in Booty Bay the other day, and Kasego was behind the bar.
Mhm.
So Vivian went to the loo to pretend to do her business. I mean, she can't. She doesn't have any working guts anymore, but she likes to pretend. So she just sits there and blows raspberries. And when she was done, she walked over to Kasego and said, "Kasego," but then, of course, in her wheezy little voice, "Kasego, there's no more loo paper in the little girl's room." And Kasego said, "Oh yeah, we don't run the bathrooms. You want some napkins and rubbing alcohol." And Vivian said, "I'm good, but the next person will have a problem." And Kasego said wisely, "That's life in Booty Bay."
Also,
And I was at a wedding with Hamfist, and Hamfist had a handful of seeds. They were supposed to throw the seeds onto the happy couple like you would rice in a wedding. And Hamfist had the seeds stuck in his hand, in his sweaty palm, for a bit too long. So his emote was, Hamfist gets ready to throw his seeds, realizing they're sticking to his palm from the rain and the sweat. He tries shaking his hands wildly to get the seeds free, but they have formed into a sticky paste from the moisture. Hamfist gives up and claps instead. And about a minute later, Hamfist pets Rue Pug, the dog.
Oh.
Not at all trying to wipe the sticky seed paste off his fur, in its fur. When that didn't work, he tried scraping it off on the bench, muttering, "What the hell is this?"
Oh my god! I can imagine.
So, yeah.
I can imagine Vivian's face as well when she sees Rupug. And
eventually, Kari and Viv saw Rupug, and they were like, "What is this? We gave you a bath this morning."
See his fur sticking up on end.
Yes,
that's going to read. Poor dog.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me of a real life story with one of my dogs. I gave one of my dogs a bath once, and I rubbed the dog down with a towel afterwards. And when I looked down at her, it looked like she had an electric shock. Her fur was just poof. Just, oh my god! It's like a little black puffball. It was so funny.
It looks like Mikkel when he's been to bath then.
Yeah, I almost get an afro with how much my hair stretched to all directions.
Oh dear. Do we have any more funny moments before we?
No.
I can express my luck this campaign.
Oh
It's
yeah,
pretty funny.
Yes. Go on then.
So like in combat, in combat events and stuff, our clan does rolls 20s, and some people have mods and stuff like that give a little boost, depending on how long you've been in the clan. However, that didn't help me one bit. My luck this campaign, we've done I think 7 events so far through the campaign.
I believe so, yeah.
I've had 8 crit fails and only 1 crit success.
Oh,
Crit fails are rolling a natural 1.
Yeah.
I've done that 8 times in 7 events.
Oof.
Ella.
I don't know how.
Ella.
Yeah.
You are a crit success.
You are a crit success.
There's a compliment to give to a nerd. You are a crit success. Who put out on the t-shirt? That'd be great, wouldn't it?
Yes.
A smirch.
Merch
My
idea.
luck has been so bad, though. It's been so bad.
Oh dear. Speaking of bad, shall I read out this Barg quote?
Yes.
Give us some wisdom.
The Barg.
This isn't exactly a bit of wisdom. It's more of a Barg quote. Barg, as people know now, is a peon that's with the Iron Wolf clan, who's a much loved character. He's quoted as being happy but confused most of the time. And To give context to this, before I say it, we were in an event where one of ours, Aku, who is a Volpera again, I believe was kidnapped by a centaur. And Barg got wind of this and yelled, "Stupid centaur! Last time you pooped, Cataclysm came. Me think your tummy hurt. We can talk. Let me smash and make you poop easy." And the fact this came completely out of the blue, and of course it had everyone falling at their chairs laughing. It was absolutely hilarious. I remember what that was as well. That was in the place in Colteris. Storm something Valley?
Song Valley?
Storm Song, thank you.
Oh,
Yes, Storm Song.
Storm Valley. Okay.
Yes. Storm Song Valley.
I didn't know there was centaur there.
I'd be terrified if I was a centaur there.
I might not have been there because no, it wasn't there because the clan was camped there at the time. That's why I got a bit confused there. But no, the centaur weren't in Storm Song at the time. It was a different place. But anyway, I digress.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else that we want to add to the podcast before we move on?
Well, we have a special episode in 2 weeks.
I was just about to get to Vivian. That's why I'm asking whether or not.
Oh, okay,
Oh,
no, I didn't say anything. I'm definitely not segueing you into the next bit. Not me. No, sir.
I just want to say a big thank you to Rika and Mikkel for actually coming on and
Yeah.
answering the call, I guess.
Answering the call of the nerds. Yes.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, it's really nice to be here.
Yeah, lovely
It
to meet
was
you
a
both.
pleasure to have you guys. Yeah.
Fantastic. It was a fun episode to record. It was definitely a pleasure talking to the pair of you.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure being here as well. And as we usually say, if there's anything you need to know, just ask.
Good, good. All that's left then is for me to end the podcast episode. But before I do, I have a little announcement. As I do indeed, Ella, yes. As we're coming up to our 8th episode, next time, this is, of course, we thought we would make an occasion out of it. And therefore, we had the idea of recording a podcast episode live on our Discord server. Anyone who's interested is more than welcome to come and get involved. Obviously, the exact details, as in the date and time, will be shared closer to time. Excuse me. But we hope it's going to be this fun, informal occasion where people can just get together, have a laugh, and share their opinions on all things RP. And yep, hopefully that will come up. Hopefully that will come up on our next time.
Come and be part of the show.
Yes,
I
we
will
will be there. Of course.
Definitely be here. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I like being here.
Oh, excellent.
That's good to know. Like I said, everyone's welcome to come and get involved, providing you're a member of our Discord server, of course. Not trying to hint or anything, you know. But I think it's in the description.
Yeah, we've got like 50 people in here so far, 60, I think.
We're in our 50 at the moment, yeah.
69 or 70 now, I think.
I believe it's the meme number, if you know what I mean by that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, good timing there. Anyway, if nothing else needs to be said, anyone?
No, just thank you again for coming along.
Yeah. Special thanks, of course, to our guests once again for coming along.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. It was really great.
Yeah, it was good fun. Thank you, of course, to our supporters. You guys are absolutely amazing. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our YouTube channel and following us on Spotify. You can also listen to our podcast on Apple Podcasts as well, if you're one of the people that prefers Apple over Spotify. Either way, choice is yours. all that's left to say now is goodbye and see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.